Welcome back to the channel. I apologize for the way that I sound today. I'm getting over a cold. Yesterday I sounded like I've been working in a Waffle House for like 30 years, but I'm doing a bit better. So I'm recording this intro after I've actually done the process. So this is actually the week later. I was trying to do 2 videos in one and it didn't work out, so I split that. But anywho, so I'm gonna just walk you through the process of how we keg beer here at Cyclops. Maybe it's got some tips in it that's useful for you, and or maybe you got some suggestions for me. But anyways, enough of that, let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna keg our beer directly off the Brite tank. We use sanke connections here. So this is what you'll find typically in most breweries. This is a fairly easy process. So as long as your kegs are clean and sanitized and pressurized, and you can check my other video for how to do that, you're just ready to go directly, right? So you'll rinse off the top. If they're capped, they should have sanitizer sitting in the neck. If not, we're gonna clean them. Use sanitizer anyway, but just because it's good practice. So, but we should be good to go. So some things you need. You need your sanke connection, but you'll notice I have 2 lines. I have a ball valve in each line. So this line coming in the top is our liquid inlet line. So that's where the beer is going to flow off. We're going to connect to the Brite using this tri-clamp fitting. So that has a length of tube, the ball valve, and tri-clamp fitting directly to our sanke. On the other side, we have our gas outlet valve. In this case, it's gas outlet. Normally it'd be gas inlet and beer out, but we're going the opposite direction because we're filling the keg. So you don't need a full length of hose or anything on that, but you do need a ball valve, and it is handy to have that length of hose because foam is going to come out. We're going to have foam come out. I have this tri-clamp on here for a couple reasons, but one is mostly just to weight it down to hold it in the bucket while I'm working. So I'm gonna have 2 buckets, a bucket of sanitized water and a blow-off bucket. And this, when I take it off the keg, I'm just gonna drop it in the sanitizer, and then this will go in our blow-off bucket. So this is the gas line coming off. So you can see that. That's the gas line coming off. And that's pretty much it. If you're familiar with how this all connects, then this is nothing new. But basically, you have a gasket on the sanke connection. You also have a gasket in the spear of the keg. And then there are small gaskets that are in here, each one of these. They're small black rubber gaskets. So these just tighten down snug. You don't have to get them overly tight, like not gorilla tight, but tight. So our sanke connection has ramps on it. So there are 2, one on each side. So you're just gonna put it down, twist it until it goes down in seats. And then you will make the open liquid connection by pulling back on this lever and moving up. This one's a little funny, but anyway, that's what it looks like when this is open. So you can see this sticks out. That actually opens up the keg and allows liquid to go in. But you want to make sure you have these valves turned off, both of them turned off, before you make your connection and before you disconnect. So I'm gonna go check our CO2 level, and then if everything's good, we'll make our connections, we'll keg our beer. Okay, so we're all set up. I am filling this keg. So what we got is we got the valve open for the beer that's on a racking arm that's coming out through a tri-clamp, through a hose, with a ball valve, and then down to our sanke connection. That's fully open. So here's our gas line, and the ball valve on this is only open about 1/3 of the way. I don't want the beer transferring too quickly because I don't want to break CO2 out of suspension. So I just want a nice, smooth, even transfer. So really this is all we've got. It's really straightforward. Once you see foam coming out of here, generally you're good. I usually let it run for a second or two just to make sure. And then if you have an overcarbed beer or really foamy beer, sometimes you won't get a full keg fill. So you need to watch that. But basically, I have a sight glass on our Brite tank, and I'm just clicking off the lines to make sure I'm getting 15 gallons. But that's practically it. So we're just gonna fill all these kegs from our Brite, and when we're finished, we'll clean it up and transfer some more beer in. Okay, so I got foam coming out. So what I do is shut the gas line off completely, and then shut the liquid line off here. And now I'm going to disconnect the sanke. Get yourself a rag. You're going to need that. Sorry. But get yourself a rag, and then just twist that until it comes loose. It's going to drain out. Then we're going to drop that back down in our sanitizer. Take our rag. So beer flows out, so you want to catch that. You don't want there to be beer sitting around either in the top of your keg or in the top of the neck. Wipe it off really good. It was a shot of ISO. I usually wipe that out also, just to get it really good. And then fill the neck about halfway or so. Put your cap on, keg collar go on, this keg is good to go. Okay, so we are tapped out on our Brite tank. So you can see, it's just down below that tape line, and that's kind of where we stop. So, and I started to have to move the racking arm down a fair bit just to get that last half barrel keg out. But it's all kegged up, everything's good to go. Now what we're gonna do is bleed all of the pressure off the tank, and then we're gonna run a cleaning cycle on it, get it ready, and transfer the next beer in. Okay, this may look like a mess, but I'm sanitizing the Brite tank. I've already run a caustic cycle and a rinse cycle. So I need these long hoses to reach from the fermenter to the Brite. I will not use the pump when transferring. I'm going to use CO2 pressure to come from here and to go back to where we were. So, okay, now that everything's cleaned up and sanitized, we are transferring out of this fermenter into the Brite. So I've got CO2 connected on top, so closed transfer coming down out of the outlet. So through this sight glass, I got a shut-off valve. That's always kind of nice to have at the end of your hoses. Makes things a little simpler. So we're just coming out of here, no pump or anything, just CO2. Hoses that I use to sanitize and clean everything are connected. We are flowing into the bottom of the Brite tank and filling up. So you can see beer is up to about right there. And moving along, should be done very shortly.